This was one of our first real outings with the Ranger since we bought it. It was a bit of an experiment, trying to bring out all the equipment so we could film everything we were doing and get some good footage of the venue. We ended up selecting Diablo Canyon, just a place I found on Google. Turned out to only be about a 40-minute drive from where we live, and we only had one day to work with, so it seemed like a good option. We didn't have any idea how long this was going to take. It is a little bit more disruptive when you try to film everything. Even just filming in the car is a little more awkward. You can see most of the snow that we got from a couple weeks ago had melted by now, except up there on the ski basin, a little bit on the top of the Baldy. New Mexico has a lot of good hiking areas, and we live pretty close to most of that. We up to Ski Hill, obviously, has a lot of hiking trails that we've gone over regularly. We don't always have a ton of time to take out it for any long-term excursions, more than a couple days. Trying to do more of that. That's part of what we got this truck for. The last 10 miles or so of the drive, you hit a dirt road that's pretty well washboarded, so the ride there is pretty bumpy. Of course, none of that presented any problem to the Ranger. Even the stock suspension is pretty robust and stiff, so the ride wasn't nearly as bumpy as it would have been in another vehicle, like say the Subaru. So after about 15 minutes on the dirt road, the canyon starts to come into view on your left. You can see here it's pretty muddy still. I think there must be a water crossing there because the rest of the road was dry, which was a really good thing because even that little bit of mud was really slippery. It kicks up your treads pretty good. Now on Google, most of the reviews for this area, there's two spots on the map marked as Diablo Canyon. One's Diablo Canyon Trailhead, and one's Diablo Canyon Recreation Area. And this is a recreation area. And all the reviews we found for it were from rock climbers. You can see these rock faces now. You can see why they like this area, and there were actually a fair amount of them out there. I mean, we were surprised at how many people were already on site. I mean, we didn't get there too late, probably about 11, maybe 11:30. You can see here there's already a lot of cars there. There's campgrounds here, there's fire pits, so it looks like people stay overnight. This was our first time here. Here you can see some more of these rock faces, so you can see why the climbers like it. There's only one side of the canyon that's really climbable. You can see more on the left. It's more just loose rock and more sloped. The only solid rock face is on the right side. So the temperature when we got here was probably about 45, 40 degrees. And that was really pleasant in the sunlight, but once you get into the canyon, where the canyon walls blocked the sun, it was really cold. Of course, Phoebe didn't mind at all. She doesn't ever get cold. You can see more of the rock faces here. It was a really beautiful area, someplace we hadn't been before. I used this opportunity to break out the drone I've been testing around for probably about a year now. This is the first time I actually took it out and tried filming some outdoor areas instead of just my backyard. It's always a little tricky using drones in recreation areas, or I mean, this wasn't labeled as a state park. This was BLM land, but you never want to be intrusive when you fly your drone around. You're gonna keep your flights short. You know, drones are loud, and try not to bother people. But as you can see, the shots came out really good. The drone's the only 4K camera I have on hand at the moment, and it was well worth it. You can see here's some more good shots of the rock faces. So these sections of the canyons where a couple of the climbers were. There were two guys climbing on this particular section when we first came through, but they had moved on by the time we started drone filming. Most of the climbers were at the entrance to Diablo Canyon, and after about a mile, the canyon sort of ends and it goes to an open area, which just follows the creek bed. So we followed the creek bed probably another mile, mile and a half after the canyon ends, up until we came to a cow fence to keep them in for grazing. We elected to turn around there, but then I got home. Now on Google it said eventually you get to the Rio Grande, and we weren't sure how much further we had to go to get to the river. I got home and I checked out the satellite maps, and it was only about another half a mile past that fence. So we passed up a couple drone filming opportunities by turning around early, but next time we'll go all the way there. Here's the chase function on the drone. We were using it to chase the truck and try to get some shots of it while it was driving. We went pretty slow, and I had the drone up pretty high. I've watched a lot of drone fail videos in my time, and I really didn't want to contribute to them, so I wanted to make sure it was well above tree level. And that's Diablo Canyon for you. If you guys are ever in northern New Mexico, it's definitely worth a stop by. It's a really mild hike. That creek bed is pretty flat. It's got a little bit of a grade, but nothing you'll really notice. We've done a lot more challenging hikes up in the mountains. So, thanks for watching, guys, and if you like what we're doing, subscribe, leave a comment, and hopefully we'll have more videos for you guys.